All right, season has expired. We close it out with a home loss to a hated division foe to drop us to 4-4 at home on the year and 9-7 overall. There's a lot that needs to be talked about with this team right now. First thing I'll say, look, there's no point in getting that mad about losing this game. We found out that the game effectively meant nothing a few minutes before our game went final. So, as the Falcons pulled away in that Panthers game, we kind of knew. We kind of knew that we were playing for pride, playing for, a 10-win season, whatever. And I value that stuff. But then again, we picked 15th in the draft now, I think, instead of 20th. So, I don't know. This win, this loss, whatever. I'm going to move right on from this one. It's embarrassing, don't get me wrong, and I'm going to talk about that. It is embarrassing what happened out there today because this team tried to win, and they couldn't do it, and that is not okay. But from my perspective, it doesn't mean that much, and it's not this loss that is going to get me fired up in this video if I do end up getting fired up. It is, look, where do we start with this team, guys? Because as the title of this video says, this team is broken. And you can point to the couple of good offensive drives that we had in the second half of this game. You can point to some of the plays the defense made. You can bring that stuff up all you want to. That doesn't change the fact that this team, as assembled, is broken. And for a fan like me who had Super Bowl aspirations before the season started, that's not okay. And I kind of get where some people are going to come from. I don't want to hear it right now, but I know some fans are going to come to this video. Some Seahawks fans are going to be like, oh, well, we went 9-7 in a pretty tough division with a bunch of injuries. We had a ton of injury problems this year, guys. There's so much stuff that we expected to have that we just plain didn't have. And I understand, but with what we had, the product that was on the field was not good enough. So let's just talk about today for a little bit here, because there's going to be a ton of time to make overall videos starting tomorrow. But tonight, let's just start with this one game and talk about the embarrassment of actually losing this game, because again, we thought we were alive in the playoffs this whole game. We were not eliminated until there were a few minutes left. Defense. Let's start with the defense because, look, it's fixable. It's fixable with a good offseason of football, but look, I've talked up this offense this year. I'm sorry, I've talked up this defense this year. I've said that they've held up pretty good given all the injuries. I've said that a lot of their struggles have been excusable because of all the stuff they had to deal with in terms of replacing players. But today in the first half, we were playing, excuse me, we were playing a backup quarterback, a backup running back, a bunch of backup offensive linemen, and they were styling on us, guys. In that first half, they were doing whatever the hell they wanted. Kerwin Williams was pulverizing our run defense, and other than Cliff Averill and Cam Chancellor, we got our guys up there. We have our linebackers. We have most of our defensive line. And Kerwin Williams was running the hell out of that ball early in that game. We were getting gashed. Pass rush was a joke. We didn't touch Drew Stanton for the first 30-plus minutes of that game. We didn't get to him. We were rushing 3 players on third down like my team did last night, the Washington Huskies. I had to watch it again today. And he was just picking our secondary apart in that first half. Larry Fitzgerald, Jerron Brown, Jermaine Gresham, whoever it was. I can't even really hate on the secondary too much. I watched this game and I saw a pass rush that was not getting home. We have most of our defensive linemen, guys. Yeah, Nazir Jones, Malik McDonald, Cliff Averill, I'd rather have those guys out there. The guys we had out there were not getting it done. Once again, Michael Bennett, over and over, he almost makes a big play, but he doesn't make it, and the offense makes a big play. At this point, I don't know how to feel about Michael Bennett. I know he's injured. I know he's playing through his plantar fasciitis or whatever the hell it's called. I don't know if I give a shit anymore, guys. This guy is getting old. He plays a very physical position. I don't know if we're ever going to get our Michael Bennett back the way that we expect him to be. And I hate that contract extension we gave him now more than ever. And that is something to watch for, because if we cut him and have to eat a bunch of dead money this offseason, it's bad. That was a terrible idea by this front office, and it's not the first bad decision this front office has made recently. What else? Offense. You watch the first half of this game. Offense does nothing for an entire half of football. We don't have a good running play. We had one good passing play. Offensive line is getting their ass beat. We're getting killed at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. We had, the one good play to Baldwin. Other than that, the offense is a corpse. And that's going to get me into the big concern that I have. But let me hold off on that for 1 minute here. And then, of course, we get two good drives in the second half. We get the 2 touchdown drives. Beautiful passes to Doug Baldwin in the end zone. Nice passes to Jimmy Graham over the middle to convert a 4th down and to pick up a 3rd down. And Lockett had some decent plays. We saw things that remind us that this offense can be good. It just takes us a 2-touchdown deficit to get to that point. And you have to put yourself in this big hole, and you have to watch this miserable, unfun, inept offense for an hour and a half to get to the good stuff. Oh my God, the Bengals scored. So, the Ravens are still playing over here, and they got to win to get into the playoffs. I look away for a few minutes, and the Bengals drive down and score a touchdown. Go figure. So yeah, the offense in particular is broken, but we've known that for a while. The defense shitting the bed a little bit today, that took me by surprise. And the team, obviously, we played better in that second half. Things came together a bit in that second half. We had a better second half than they did. We just put ourselves in too big a hole. So now it's a team-wide thing. Where was this team in the first half? If we had played mediocre in that first half, we win this game easily. Couldn't even manage that. And to top it all off, on a day where it looks like we might actually win the special teams battle for once in our goddamn lives, on a day when it looks like our special teams might actually be a help, we lose the game on a Blair Walsh 48-yard missed field goal. At that point, by the way, it barely even mattered if we won or lost. If we win, we still know our team has huge flaws. If we lose, we know that anyway. Now we get a better draft pick, so it's not good, but whatever. I'm not going to waste my energy to get pissed off about it. But, it was nice to know that our special teams, after the awesome kick return to start the game, still suck. That's just this game, guys. Defense, I'm questioning it a little bit after today. You have to. We were playing backups. I mean, Arizona was able to mount a semi-effective run game even though they were playing all their backups. We can't even do that on our offense with our starters. I know a couple people got hurt. I know Chris Carson got hurt. But when you see what Arizona is able to do on the ground with their backups and you look at what we're doing, it really reminds you that, oh my God, something is seriously broken here. But bigger than that, and the real thing right now, because everything I just said, you give it a good draft, you give it a good offseason, maybe 2, you can paste over all that. You can bring in new coaches, you can bring in new minds, you can bring in some new players. If you do things right, that's all replaceable. Well, Ravens are blowing it. Sorry. Here's the thing. Russell Wilson is broken. And people are going to come into my comment section and say, oh, he led the league in touchdowns this year. He had 34, 33 touchdowns or whatever it was. And the numbers are this and that. And the numbers are good. You watch this game and you tell me that Russell Wilson doesn't have a real problem with this game right now. And hold on, I got to watch this fourth down play. Come on, convert. You can do it. No, you can't do it. Season over. Somebody else can join my misery. But, okay. Russell Wilson, I'm not really going to blame him. I've seen him play good enough in the past to know he's better than this. I know that Russell Wilson is better than this. I'm looking at you guys on the coaching staff. I'm talking Tom Cable for building an offensive line that can't do anything right more than half the time, that has him shell-shocked. I'm looking at Darrell Bevell, who, you know, he's had a nice long career in Seattle of holding things together, and I'm going to have a lot more to say about Darrell Bevell in later videos. And because shit has really hit the fan with whatever it is he's trying to do on offense. And I'm calling out Pete Carroll for allowing all this to happen. I'll even call out John Snyder for building the team that allowed this to happen. In that first half, Russell Wilson, you can't tell me anything else, was scared to throw the ball. He would drop back, look. Offensive line, on some of those plays, they gave him some time. On some of the plays, he had time, and he just looks, gets sacked. He not even really moving around in the pocket on some of these plays. He just stands there and waits to get hit. And I know that Russell Wilson knows how to get the ball out quick. I've seen him do it before. So, look, I'll be critical of him for the holes in his game. Russell Wilson has holes in his game, people. He does. People are going to come in here and defend him. I don't want to hear it right now. He has holes in his game, but this is a coaching thing now. The coaching staff of this team has broken Russell Wilson. That's the only way I can describe what's going on right now. And in that first half, we had a quarterback that looked like he didn't even want to throw it. He just wanted to sit back there and wait to get sacked, because at least then it's not a turnover. At least then you're just punting. I swear to God, there were 10 plays in that first half where he dropped back to pass and just didn't pass it. I might be over-exaggerating, but you fans who watch the game, you know what I'm talking about. And I don't believe that receivers are not getting open. I watch this game. I see the all-22 coverage whenever they actually show it on coverage. And I see receivers getting open. Wilson's not finding them. So, Cable, Bevell, Carroll, you guys broke my quarterback. Some of those guys need to get the hell out of town next year. And whoever stays, fix it. Because we have a potential future Hall of Fame quarterback in our hands. We're going to blow it because we don't know how to put the right players and the right plays around them. And that would be an awful shame. All right. Bad game today. Embarrassing. It's not a big deal in the grand scheme of things. We didn't blow a playoff spot or anything like that, but there's a lot of stupidity on this team. A lot of people who I would kind of like to see somewhere else next year, not in Seattle. Bennett, I'm kind of sick of him. Rawls, after what he did today, blowing a field goal opportunity by being an idiot. I'm really done with Thomas Rawls. A bunch of coaches. Paul Richardson's probably going to be somewhere else next year. The list goes on and on. But that stuff can be fixed in an off-season. Russell Wilson, I can only hope that he can be fixed, because right now, I got a real problem with the way Russell Wilson has been coached over the last couple years, and over the last month, it seems like they broke him. All right. A bunch of off-season videos on tap for sure, because this is a big off-season. But right now, today, let's just feel sad. Let's just be bummed out that things didn't work out for us. And draft is calling us. Draft is calling us.